is concerned. We are still watching us live from Nakawa Division, and Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo is being led to the beginning point where we expect him to start off this short exercise of casting his vote. Of course, he will also cast the votes for district direct councillors, then division mayor for Nakawa Division, and at the end of the day, he will call it a day. He will return home or go somewhere where he has chosen to take a breath from as he closely monitors this exercise until we conclude. Let's give you the ambience here, and you'll be part of this broadcast. Electoral Commission officials here, and they are checking, they're trying to validate it first and foremost. I just want to put it on record that here we are using the manual lists. Of course, like it has been reiterated earlier, there have been challenges with the BVVK kits, and I think that is what has led us to this slot or stage where now we have resented to use the manual system, I mean the registers, and that is the step where Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo is now kicking off this exercise. Can we just at least listen to him here as he tries to interact with the officials of the Electoral Commission?
Kati mukolonga we mutu neto sola kunga abantu oli eri onali wano oli ali eri nti munasobola okuba nti mufune amazima matuufu. Be serious. Remember.
That is Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo trying to caution. I think they are his agents. I think he found a few loopholes here and there as far as monitoring this exercise is concerned. But of course, we will be getting more from him about that particular incident. What was the guidance about, and is it in good or bad faith? Now he moves to the benching. I will automatically say he's going to vote himself, but that largely lies within his own mandate. Among the more than, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candidates, and we will be at the end of the day be knowing whom did he cast his vote in as far as that race is concerned. On your screens, that is Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo stepping forward to cast his vote for the Lord Mayorship race for Kampala City Authority. He moves. Sorry. And there he is. He has casted his first ballot, and that was for the Lord Mayorship race. And now he moves to the division mayor, and that is the second ballot paper by Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo, and he rolls it in. He moves to the third stage, and that is the third ballot has been already cast. Now, our viewers, what has brought Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo here is now done. We are going to a bit exit from this polling station not to inconvenience other voters, and then we get one or two words from Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo. At 53 years of age, he has served as the Nakawa Division Mayor, a position and a role we can all testify that indeed he did his job. He is accompanied by his spouse and a few party or his supporters. To just remind you, Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo is sponsored by the National Unity Platform Party, NUP, and that is a journey which has led him up to this day. He's very much sure he has campaigned, he has convinced, he has sold out his manifesto, and at the end of the day, just like any other candidate, he is hopeful that victory will go his side. Let us move a bit close and listen to Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo. It's not yet. He's still finishing up a few matters here and there, and after that we shall get time to speak to him. Our viewers, you are still watching the election process of the first batch of the local government elections. This particular exercise is happening across the entire country at over 50,000 polling stations across the entire country. Yes, they might be not voting for road mayors in other parts of the country, but they're electing LC5 chairpersons, district councillors, and here in Kampala, to be specific, the 5 divisions are voting for the road mayor. Then we have the mayorship races for the 5 divisions. The district direct councillors will talk of the women and the female. And at the end of the day, we will keep our cameras rolling at different polling stations and tally centers to ensure that at the end of the day, we get the final verdict of what the voters would have decided. So keep it on UBC. We will be live throughout the entire day so that you don't miss any step. This is one of the exercises which is very crucial in the history of our country, where Ugandans rise up like it is this particular morning to go at different polling stations and cast their vote for the people whom they deem they are able to lead them. And for this case, it is a 5-year mandate. It is upon you, when handled this mantle, to do what exactly your voters or residents expect from you. Or if you let them down at the end of 5 years, it is upon you to really go back and face them again. And I guess they will be having questions in line with what they sent you to do. Be it a local council, 1 chairperson or member of parliament, expect many questions at the end of 5 years. So if by God's grace you are given a mantle in this exercise, that is the 2026 general elections, my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, my uncle, please always remind yourself that you are holding this mantle on behalf of the many voters who braved the sunshine, the rain, and the rest of the disturbances to cast their vote in your favor. And after this exercise, it's not only incumbent to you to work or serve those who only voted for you, but as soon as you are sworn in, you are a leader of almost everyone in your jurisdiction. So you should work towards reconciliation, maintaining peace, and of course bringing or hearing good ideas from all your competitors, because they were not competing for their own individual merit or benefits, but they are competing against you just because they feel they are the better people to serve their community. So when you get that office, go up there and serve your community. And this is what exactly Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo is seeking for here in Mutungo. This polling station, I'm told it has more than 5 different polling stations where voting is taking place. Just to give you a clear picture that unlike other polling stations where we have been, at least for this particular polling station, you can say the voter turnout is a bit convincing, because we see it is a very busy, it's a beehive of activities here. At every station there are 4, 5, 6, 10 voters who are lining up to cast their vote for different candidates, like I've mentioned above, councillors, Lord Mayor, and mayors. And if quite there is another polling station which is active like this one in Nakawa or beyond Nakawa, it is good note that indeed the voters of those particular areas have at least accepted, acknowledged the fact that it is their mandate to be part of this process. We want to thank whoever has already cast his vote, and those who have not yet made it, you are kindly encouraged that please, there's still time. You can organize yourself and go cast your votes. That is only if you are a registered voter. Want to thank you. This is a one-day exercise, and at exactly 4 p.m. it will be closing off, and we will be going for tallying, and thereafter at different district tallying centers the results will be announced. By, of course, midnight we will be at least getting clues on who would have won where and by what margin. On your screens is Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo, one of the contestants in the Kampala mayoral seat, where he is seeking for the people's mandate to lead Kampala for the 5 years, that is 2026-2031. Kampala has been in the hands of opposition since 2011. We all know the incumbent Elias Lukwago has been the Lord Mayor of Kampala since 2011. And for Kampala and NRM party, I know they are also out there trying to devise means on how best they can secure or reclaim this position. But for the likes of people like Balimwezo, they are working tooth and nail that their party secures victory. And for that particular case, our viewer, let's go in and listen to Honorable Nsubuga Balimwezo.
You are live on NBS.
Let me begin with Uganda, then I will conclude with English. My name is Balimwezo Ronald Nsubuga, the incoming Lord Mayor. And I'm here with the Lord Mayoress, who is my wife. I want to appreciate God that has given us the opportunity as residents of Kampala to come and vote for a competent, serious and organized Lord Mayor for the city. Today I've just cast my vote together with my wife. And the process is going on well, apart from a few areas where we have had hindrances. The foothold is only on the low turn-up. The low turn-up as a result of government not taking local government serious. Local governments are so serious that we should have had a holiday for all the people to be able to vote, because it's constitutional. But also it's written in the Bible that all voting separates mighty people. So we are quite a number of mighty people, but it's only the vote that is supposed to separate us. And we have one winner. But unfortunately, it has not been accorded what it deserves. And as such, we have a low turn-up. It's unfortunate.
We have seen some polling stations where the ballot papers have been mixed up. Has this come to your attention, and what can you say?
Yes, it has come to my attention. And I really wonder how you can mix up ballot papers. And it has happened in Nagulu. But we also heard that there was pre-taking of ballot papers still in Nagulu. We are still investigating, and we shall conclude this. I want to warn all those that want even to procure the other forms, and some of them steal the other forms from our agents. They are doing a mistake. We should allow the people of Kampala to vote the right people that they desire, other than you stealing their votes. It's unfortunate, and this has been done. In most cases, there has been connivance between those that are presiding over with those that are contenders, and particularly the agents. So we want to warn on all of them.
Lord Mayor, Eastern normally initially had said there will be use of technology. We are seeing the use of registers. What do you make of that in effect to your vote?
It's in Uganda where we appropriate billions and billions of money and actually not get value for money. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate, that lots of money have been lost in deals that have not helped Ugandans. Perhaps we would have had a more sincere election because of digital systems that we have not had. So I want government to investigate this and punish those who brought this deal.
Lord Mayor, looking at the term which is ending of 2021-2026, you have ably served the people of Nakawa East. Why were you tempted to leave the job of Member of Parliament to go to a job which you are much aware that it is a ceremonial one?
The job of Lord Mayorship is not ceremonial, and that's why we have seen someone occupy it for 15 plus years. It's not ceremonial. It's the duty of the Lord Mayor to make strategies and programs that will enhance service delivery in the city. So you cannot tell me that someone in charge of strategies and the policies, programs in the city, that is ceremonial. No, it's not. And that's the reason that I want to take it on, because I have competences that are desired in the city. Majority of the challenges that affect people in Kampala are engineering related, and I have those competences. So I'm going to make sure that all those poor roads and all other challenges are dealt with as a matter of urgency.
Lord Mayor, there were issues of transparency at the Tally Center in Kololo the other time during elections. How are you preparing to make sure that the games are not played at the Tally Center?
We have already made reports to EC about what happened previously, and we hope that EC has taken it so serious. But we have also procured serious people that are going to man the Tally Center, because it's all about having serious people that will be able to read and interpret the results so that we may come out with our win. So believe me, we are going to fight on. We are going to fight on. And we have the teams that are going to secure our win. Onako lwalero
Honorable Ronald Nsobuga Balimwezo there having cast his vote as a candidate for the mayor position here in Kampala. And to remind you a little, he served as a Nakawa division mayor in 2016 to 2021, and also he's been serving as the Nakawa East Member of Parliament till date. He was in the company of his wife, but before we go any further, we are going to have an update from Alan, who is in Adjumani, to tell us what is happening there. Good morning, Alan.
UPC TV, and of course we are coming to you live from Adjumani. Right now I'm at Adjumani Town Council in a primary school called Adjumani Central Primary School. This is where the incumbent LC5 chairperson of Adjumani, that is Mr. Anyama Ben, is expected to vote. We are still waiting here for him to come and cast his vote. And of course, right now where I am, I've been moving to different polling stations here in Adjumani. Of course, Adjumani has around 336 polling stations, and of course it has 11 sub-counties here in Adjumani. But I managed to move to 2 so far, but of course, generally, the turnout is low. This is what I've seen, and we cannot actually tell why, but of course, when I did speak to some of the voters here in Adjumani, they did say that maybe the frustration of last Thursday's election could have resulted to this particular low turnout, because last year's election, there are some whose candidate didn't go through, so probably others alleged that could be also their favorite candidate were not elected, and that's why maybe the turnout is low. But of course, it's almost coming to midday, and we expect by this time majority of the people to cast in their ballot. But generally, in Thursday's election, let me start with the Thursday election, almost half of the population voted. Half of the voters that we expected to vote actually voted. And this time around, where I am also, I'm seeing in the different polling stations, in different sub-counties that I moved in, the turnout is low. And we expect more, maybe as the day goes, it will change. But in Adjumani, right now where I am, we have 2 candidates who are battling it out. It is a very intense election, because Adjumani has a very dynamic political pressure. We've seen this, and we have Anyama Ben, who is the incumbent, and he is somebody who has been here. He's a former RDC, but of course he is also the incumbent. But now, during primaries, he lost to Anyango John Ambayo, who is carrying the flag for LC5 city, that is here in Adjumani. But of course, Anyama decided to come as an independent, and this has brought a lot of pressure, and a lot of people have been divided because of the political pressure, and this has resulted to several issues. We've seen people disuniting, we've seen people even shedding blood, we have seen properties destroying things because of this battle here. And as the day unfolds, we will be able to unpack for you what is happening here, but we hope this election will be successful. And of course, 2 days ago we had an incident in one of the sub-county, that is the Okushidana sub-county here in Adjumani, that is the Adjumani West constituency, where it was alleged that one of the candidates is distributing money, and this has provoked some of supporters of another candidate, and they decided to destroy the vehicle, and then also beat up some of the candidates, and this has actually brought a lot of issues there. But when we had a press conference together with the security team of Adjumani, that is Mr. Toko Swaib, who is the RDC of Adjumani, did assure us that the situation is under control, and the police have started this investigation, and they are still going to do their investigation. And of course, we hope that this election will be successful. But we have seen also, for the past 2 days, we have seen the presence of military who came up to support the police, Uganda police. We've seen them moving around the other night and yesterday night, because the political tension here is really, really high for Adjumani. But we believe as the day goes, it will be successful, because now Adjumani politics has divided the people, as I said earlier on, and this has brought a lot of pressure. Now, somebody will be, also our viewers there will be wondering why the disunity. It has a background, briefly I can take you briefly, because in Adjumani here we have two big shots. Adjumani, we have Honorable General Moses Ali, who is the incumbent, and he has just won the recent election as well. He is the general. Of course, he is the incumbent member of Adjumani West constituency, and he is somebody who is a very, very, very prominent politician from this side of the land. So there are some factions who are loyal to him. And then the other side is the woman member of parliament, that is Honorable Jessica Ababiku, who is also the incumbent, and she is the flag bearer, but she also won the recent concluded parliamentary seat for Adjumani, woman member of parliament. So these two leaders are not actually working together. So one of them is supporting another candidate, and the other one is also supporting the other candidate. So this has actually exerted pressure into the community, and the community is divided when it comes to issues of election. But we hope as the day unfolds, we hope that it will be okay, and we believe that this will actually bring unity after this. And of course, I will be giving you details more when it comes to Adjumani. Let me briefly go to Obongi. Obongi, we have 5 people who are battling it out for LC5 chairmanship. We have Siraji Karala, who is running as an independent. He is the former LC3 chairperson for Itula sub-county, and this time around he decided to come as an independent for this particular race. So he's battling out with the 4 other candidates who are actually battling it for this. We have Akuba Francis, who is independent, and he is somebody who is also a former aspirant for MP. He stood against that is Dr. Boka during NRM primaries, as a member of parliament, and he wanted to carry the flag of National Resistance Movement for Obonyi, but unfortunately he lost to Boka. So this time around, he turned around very quite quickly, and then he decided to go back for LC5 seat. So currently he is an independent candidate, but from NRM lineage. So he is somebody who is also expected to compete with the others. We have Rashid Kenya Gopi, who is also independent. Of course, he's also battling it out from that side of Bongi for that particular race. We have Abib Buga Kemis, who is the incumbent, and is the one who carried the flag of National Resistance Movement, and he is somebody who we hope as the day unfolds, that is where people actually see the battle would be between him and this man by the name of Akuma Francis. But we are yet to see, because earlier on I spoke to some of the people here. They say they expected between the two leaders the tension will be high. We've also had there is also another candidate by the name of called Taibot Mozamel, who is carrying the flag of Forum for Democratic Change. And of course, as you are most aware, most of the viewers you must be aware that this time around in the Thursday's election, people of Obonyi decided to send Caps Hassan Fungaro, who is a FDC strongman. So we also hope this particular raise of LC5, this gentleman who is carrying the flag of FDC is also battling it out. But we are yet to follow up. We don't know how the two will go. But that is what is happening here. We've had the stories of some arrests made, Joan, from Bongi, the same to Moyo as well, because of election violence. Now, for Moyo, we have two people who are battling it out. We have Anyama Williams, who is the incumbent, and is the one carrying the flag of the National Resistance Movement. He is going for the third term. He has been there, and of course, he came. He also took over from this particular opponent who he is contesting with, and that is none other than Vukoni Jimmy Okudi. Vukoni Jimmy Okudi decided to stand as an independent. He was the former LC5 for the same district, and of course this current incumbent took from him. But now I think that chair is sweet. We decided now to come back again to reclaim this particular victory. But we are yet to see the days unfolding. Now, Joan and our viewers, we had stories. Of course, we had in Metro Sub-County where people have been arrested. A gentleman by the names of Madrara Joseph is common known as Oya from Metu. We understand he's the NRM chairperson for Metu Sub-County. He is also the coordinator for Vukonidimi. You know, this election has divided people. So a story that is coming in said that he has been arrested together with the 5 other people. And we had this story that they have been taken to Kolo Kolo Army Barracks. So we are yet to verify that as the day unfolds, and we shall give you more updates. Joan, that is what is happening here. But of course, we are still moving around the polling station here. As I told you, we have 336 polling stations in Germany and 11 sub-counties. But of course, also, we shall be getting information from nearby. And of course, as the day unfolds, we shall give you more details.
Okay, thank you so much, our reporter Alan there in Adjumani. Still, it is the same statements coming from wherever we are having our reporters. Voter turnout is extremely low. The fact that we are approaching, it's already midday and we have just a few hours to the closure of voting today as stipulated by the Electoral Commission. Earlier on, we had Engineer Ronald Nsobuga Balimwezo cast his vote in Mutungo at Bulwa Apole. No, that is for the Lord Mayor at Butung in Mutungo. And of course, he scrutinized his details and asked the EC officials, have you seen my photo? Have you seen my name? He did not want to be mistaken for anyone else. Now, just to let you know, Balimwezo holds degrees in civil engineering, diplomas in construction, architecture, and waste management. He was in the company of his wife as he went to cast his ballot. And of course, he was also asked about how he has seen the entire process of voting. And first, he appreciated God for having enabled them reach this day to cast their vote as residents of Nakawa and also the entire Uganda and those who are eligible to vote for Lord Mayor. He also pointed out that still, even in Nakawa, there is still low turnout of the voters, and he attributed this to quite a number of factors. And he mentioned either it looks like government does not take local government leadership quite serious, yet it is very significant in structures of development. And he said there is a need more priority to be given to local district governance. He also talked about having mixed ballot papers. Allegedly, there were mixed ballot papers and pre-taking of ballots in Naguru. And he said if it is confirmed, that would be really unfortunate, because we would not be having such incidents if the Electoral Commission was thoroughly transparent. He also called out those who are planning on stealing the DR forms for various candidates. He warned them and called it a selfish act, and that they should desist from doing so. And when asked about the biometric voter verification kits, he said still it was absurd that Uganda as a country, after investing quite a lot of money to procure these kits, up to date, we cannot use them for their intended use. And of course, he did not differ so much about that from Arias Lukwago, who earlier on casted his vote. And he mentioned that most of the challenges affecting the people in Kampala are engineer-related. And so he feels he is going to tackle that very well. But like I said earlier on, Arias Lukwago Salongo cast his vote there in Rubaga Wakaliga at Bulwa polling station in Ruga division. And from the look of things, as we both witnessed this, the journalists there outnumbered the voters who had come to cast their votes. And of course, today Kampala residents, as they're casting their ballots for the mayors and councillors at both city centre and division levels, we expect more people to go to the polling station. So I urge you, Ugandans, please go out there and vote for your local government leaders. There is still time. It's just about 4 minutes past midday. You can still go and cast your vote. And of course, yes, of course, when we look at, we shall be telling you of more of the updates from the different polling stations. And of course, let's have an update from Lira coming in there of what is happening at the polling stations. Eddie Olwa, good afternoon.
To you and all our viewers of UBC TV. We are coming to you live from Lira City here, one of the cities in the country where today we are also having elections for the city mayors and the councillors that will be going to the city council. What we can see from most of the polling stations which we have visited from morning up to this midday is that there is very, very low turn-up. Most of the polling stations we go to, you'll find only a handful of people at the polling station casting their votes. But in other polling stations, you hardly even find one person casting the votes. If you check in the register, you'll find like from morning up to now, only about 10 people have yet come to vote. But also some of the people whom we found and spoken to, they do say that they got frustrated in the previous election where they came so early to the polling stations. But again, in some polling stations, they found there is no voting materials yet at the polling station when they came very early. And then some of them also say the delays were as a result of the failure of the voter verification machine. That also frustrated them and then caused delays in the voting. So we are hopeful that such kind of frustrations and delays that happened in the previous election probably is the one causing this one. So we expect that maybe by around 2 or 3 there, we may expect some improvement in the turn-up in the different polling stations here in the city. But also, just to give you very quickly, Lira City is one of the youngest cities in the country that was granted the city status from a municipality status to city status in 2020. And this will be the second officially elected mayor coming in. And we already have about 9. We have 9 people in the race. Of course, coming from different political parties and independents. We have Sam Atul, who is carrying the NRM flag, and we also have Michael Gwangolwa Veze, who is carrying the UPC flag. We also have Patrick Ogwang, who is holding the NUP flag, but we also have Fred Obote, who is holding the FDC flag, and a number of independent candidates in the race. But also, in the race, among the 9 people, we also have a lady. We also have one woman who is challenging with a gentleman to see that she also claims the highest seat here in Lira City. So we are still here moving around and visiting different polling stations and waiting to bring to our audience the latest updates that will be coming in here. Apparently, we haven't yet confirmed any of the 9 candidates who have casted the vote, because most of them are booked for midday. Some of them said they were still very much engaged in trying to mobilize voters to go and vote, because they also have the information that very many people are still back home and then they are reluctant. Probably they don't want to go and cast their vote. So as candidates, they also want to make calls and then probably use their agents to reach out to people so that they can go and vote. So we expect Mayor Sam Atul to be voting anytime from now, but we also expect UPC's Mike Ogwangolwa to also be at this polling station, that is junior quarters, anytime from now. So the NRM's candidate Sam Atul is expected to be voting from Akai Debe, that is in Barapur, Lira City West Division, anytime from now, and we shall be stationed there to bring you the latest as and when they appear at the polling station.
AD, I would want to know from you the situation there. In Adjumani, we've been reliably informed that there was some scenes of violence as there was a destruction of a vehicle. Have you reported any incidents there in Lira City?
As I speak now, we haven't yet heard of any violent situation here in the city. All is still well, everything is peaceful. What I am yet to confirm is that there is some mismatch of candidate signs in Lira City West, especially for the directly elected councillors to the city council.
Eddie, I beg your pardon, you said there is a mismatch of what?
Mismatch of candidate sign. You find that if somebody is NRM, again the sign
the symbols,
put
okay.
against the NRM candidate is for UPC, and then a UPC person is again carrying the pass and something like that. So that is the information that I am still going to City West to try to verify, and I will be bringing you the letters from there when I get the details. For now, I cannot confirm, but the information I've received is that there is a situation like that in Lira City West, and that will call for the cancellation of election for directly elected councillors there. But I'm yet to get to the station there and then confirm, and we'll let you know.
How is the security deployment there when it comes to Lira polling stations?
Unlike during a presidential and parliamentary election where we would see security presence almost every corners of the city and areas around, this time around we are only seeing the presence of police constables at the polling station. And their numbers are not as many as we witnessed in the previous election. So you get to a polling station, you find only about 2 or 3 police constables at the polling station.
And how are the people accessing the polling stations? Are they being ferried, or everyone is going there by themselves?
Beg your pardon?
How are people accessing the polling stations? Are they being ferried, or everyone is going there by themselves?
No, apparently people are walking in. I haven't seen people being brought on motorcycles. But usually, what happens is even those who ferry voters to the polling stations, they don't get with them up to the polling stations. They stop somewhere near the polling station, and then they allow voters to walk, because they also don't want to be noticed that they are doing that.
Eddie, since you've said there is extremely low voter turnout today, have you seen any efforts there by the candidates to try and take their voters to the polling station so that they can have them vote for them?
I asked about 2 of them this morning, but all they said is the reason why they are voting late is to do mobilization of voters. But they were reluctant to tell us exactly what sort of activities they will be embarking on to mobilize voters to go and vote. But we can only suspect that definitely getting off motorcycles and border borders and probably facilitating them to move around homes and then carry voters to the different polling stations.
From the locals you've interacted with and maybe the EC officials, what factors have attributed to the low voter turnout today?
Like I said earlier on, in the presidential and parliamentary election last time, very many voters stand up very early in the morning. Most of the polling stations I went to by 7 a.m., there were quite a number of voters already at the polling station, but voting then started very late in the previous election. So that is also one of the things that have made, I think, quite a number of voters a bit relaxed to get to the polling stations early this time. But also, as you very well know, sometimes voters also get frustrated if they very much hoped that maybe this and this a member of parliament would make it and then they really do not make it. So some of them get frustrated and say, I think I will not now go and vote for these other subsequent leaders because of the previous frustration. But different candidates, religious leaders, cultural leaders, have been rallying and calling upon voters not to relax, not to stay home, not to get frustrated, but also to go and exercise their rights for these local government elections, because it is actually the point where they get to access service delivery. And this is the most important elections for them, because these are leaders that they can just walk to and then voice their concerns.
And about the mismatch of candidates' symbols on the ballot papers, what has the Electoral Commission done? Has voting been sold until it is resolved?
That is where now I am headed for right now, to confirm if indeed there is a mismatch of symbols. And then I will also be getting more reaction from the Electoral Commission, but also from the candidates, if at all it is true. And then I will be giving you the latest. For now, we can just say that is a tip of coming in from Lira City West, but I will be bringing you the exact information from there shortly.
Thank you so much, Eddie Ora, there in Lango region, specifically Lira. And earlier on today, of course, we had the FDC Kampala Lord Mayor candidate, Ibrahim Kasoze, pointing out that there is a lower voter turnout, and he attributed this to irregularities in the Electoral Commission. And yes, of course, he vowed to make Kampala a clean capital. That is Ibrahim Kasoze, the FDC mayor candidate. Yes, Eddie there was telling us of Lira City being one of the new cities for Uganda, and they have elected, or they are electing their second mayor in a row, and this is because they've just been granted a city status, and the rest has over 9 candidates, inclusive of a lady. But surprisingly, by midday, it's just about 16 minutes past midday, there is no candidate that has gone forward in Lira to cast their vote. And of course, he also mentioned about having a mismatch of symbols on the ballot papers there in Lira. And of course, just to let you know, earlier on, as ongoing, the Parliamentary Committee on Appointments, chaired by Speaker Anita Annette Among, is currently vetting Justice Flavian Nzija, nominated by President Yoweri Museveni for appointment as the new Chief Justice of Uganda. Now, Speaker Among confirmed the committee's proceedings today and emphasized that the process aligns with parliamentary procedures. And she added that following the vetting, the committee's report will be submitted to the President for final approval. Now, Justice Zeja's nomination comes after the retirement of former Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny Idolo, who officially retired on January 18, 2026, after reaching the mandatory age of 70, as outlined in Article 144, Clause 1 of A of the Ugandan Constitution. Now, Owiny Idolo handed over his duties to his deputy on January 19th, 2026. Now, for those of you who do not know the vetting process, which includes a thorough review of Zeja's qualifications, is very critical for ensuring transparency and upholding the rule of law. Legal professionals and the public are closely now monitoring the process, with any objections to his appointment likely to generate after. Now, of course, it is confirmed that Justice Zeja will assume one of the highest judicial positions in Uganda, overseeing the country's legal system and ensuring independence of the judiciary. Now, you may wonder why the rush. In Uganda, the Chief Justice plays a key role in the Supreme Court, especially in presidential election petitions, which are handled exclusively by the court. Now, with Museveni having been declared the winner of the election with 71.65% of the vote, legal challenges to the results are, of course, expected, as we've seen some of the people like Frank Bolira, who have been candidates to the presidential office. Of course, UBC UG polls 2026, we are still giving you more updates. Robert Chirabo is coming up with Honorable Mike Sebalu, who is a political analyst, to give you more insights about today's election. Thank you for watching UBC.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists.
Well, what do I have to say? We are witnessing the events as they unfold. The process is still in its infancy. The day is still young. We are yet to, to tell what's going to happen in the course of the day. But so far what we have observed, there is very low turnout, extremely low. As we speak right now, it's coming to 11, and I've cross-checked with the records here. There are only 37 voters who have cast their votes here at the polling station. Of course, we have 3 polling stations here. It's a polling center, but the particular one where I vote from, 37 out of 479 registered voters. That is at that particular polling station. I've told you there are others. There is another one with 560 and another one and so many others. But the particular one where I have voted from, only 37 by 11 out of 479. That tells you the picture of what is happening. Low voter turnout, which of course you can attribute to voter apathy, public despondence, and frustration. Many people are disillusioned with the electoral processes, considering what happened during the presidential election, the brutality that blessed the whole exercise, the mayhem which is still going on as we speak today, the violence, and many people being harassed, people on tenterhooks, they're on pension. So it's a situation which is really very, very unpalatable and not at all conducive with a civic exercise of this nature. And of course also the issue of the faulty machines, the BVV kits. They also, of course, as they accounted for the low voter turnout during the presidential election. And today they have totally abandoned them with no explanation, because we thought if there was a problem at that time, a week down the road, they ought to have fixed it if it was temporary. But it would appear they are not bothered at all. And this is the neglect of duty on the part of the Electoral Commission, because they ought to have explained to the nation what went wrong with the BVV kits, what really went wrong. Was it the hardware? The measures they were taking to fix the problems, and the assurance they would give us that by the time we come to cast our votes today, a week after that debacle, probably the problem would be fixed. But here we are. They are still using a manual register. And you've noticed one thing. One of the purposes, actually the key purpose, the primary purpose of the BVVK machines was to authenticate ballot papers, to establish indeed that these ballot papers are authentic, to scan them and authenticate them. Now, ask yourself, with the use of this manual voters register, how have they authenticated my ballot paper? They just plucked it out of the ballot book, gave it to me, cast it, and that is all. So you can't tell whether it is authentic or not, because that was the purpose of the BVV machine. So that's where we are.
Lord Mayor, you're live on NBS Television. We would like to hear from you, especially being part of this election for some good time. Is this the kind of voter turnout that has always happened, especially after general election? It has been recorded previously to be as low. Is it the same kind of low levels that are here? But also, several areas that reporters are in have seen the BVVK work today. I would like to hear from you whether indeed you have reached out to the Electoral Commission, for instance, to ask why at the polling station where you're voting from, there's no
Hello, Ran. Thank you very much for being on UBC TV as we ensure we are keeping you aware of what is going on. 360 degrees coverage all over the country, from Lira to Kampala, then everywhere our team is there to ensure that you're well versed with what is happening as Ugandans today go to the polls, that is to elect their mayors for urban centers. Kampala, the Lord Mayor, and of course councillors that follow there. I'm with Mike Kennedy Sebaru. Now, he is a political analyst, but a seasoned politician as well, but also a man, when we talk about elections, not new to them. Most of the things we are discussing today are a result of our constitution, and he participated in the CA, the Constituent Assembly. From there, he took on a constituency. He represented that for some time. Then he went to the East African Parliament. He went to the Pan-African Parliament as well. If there's a World Parliament, I think it is the remaining bit for Honorable Sebaru. Honorable, you're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chirabo. You look good, you look different, you look sharp.
Thank you.
I can say that your name reflects your value proposition.
I'm humbled.
You are a Chirabo to UBC, but you are also a Chirabo to the media space. I'm glad to be with you. I always enjoy doing some engagement with the viewers, with you as a moderator. You do it well, you know how you've mastered it. So thanks to UBC for giving me the opportunity this morning and afternoon to be part of the panel. I'd like to thank the Electoral Commission. You began, but I have some beef with you this morning. I woke up very early in the morning since you people gave me sufficient notice for me to be here and join you for this session. So by 7 hours at the polling center, Ruby, and it was not until past 10 that I was able to cast my vote. The materials were not at the scene by 9:50. I really think the Electoral Commission needs to shape up.
Well, sorry to cut you short, Honorable. Let me first get Robert Onyango to give us an update.
Well, thank you and good afternoon, Chirabo and our viewers of UBC TV. We are still monitoring the polling day here in Nakawa Division as thousands of registered voters across the Kantra Metropolitan waked up in the morning to go and cast votes for different, but this time round we are focusing at local government, where Kampala they are voting Lord Mayorship, there is division mayors, district councillors and women councillors at different divisions in Kampala. I'm coming to you live from the Mbuya, that is the UPDF headquarters, and this particular polling station where I'm standing is called the Upper Mbuya. Here at just the main entrance to the Ministry of Defense and the Internal Affairs headquarters, which literally many of us know as Mbuya, where voters who are living within this area are also exercising their mandate of choosing leaders whom they want to lead them in the next 5 years under the leadership of those positions I've mentioned above. They are also voting for that candidate they wish could lead Kampala as the Lord Mayor. They are also electing leaders, that is to say mayors for this particular division is called Nakawa. So they are voting for the mayor of Nakawa for the coming 5 years. They are also voting for different councillors to start with their own those direct councillors and women representatives at the city authority. This is an exercise we have monitored throughout the entire day, and you can see here the polling station here of Upper Mbuya has more than I think 10 polling centers, because wherever you put your eyes you can see there is voting going on, and entirely voters who are coming here to vote are in civilian clothes, so we cannot confirm that there are soldiers only, but though even the law did not bar them from participating in such an exercise. We are told even last time during the presidential and parliamentary elections, this is the same place where the CDF of Uganda, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, did cast his vote during the 15th January voting exercise. So it is not out of law, but the law accepts that even serving officers, men in uniform, can also ably come out and exercise their voting rights by so choosing the leaders whom they wish to lead them in this particular exercise, where we are saying it is a tenure of 5 years at all voting positions. I'll be speaking to one of the monitors of this exercise. He is a very strong man in this district, this division. He is a former member of parliament, and he will be getting in here to chip in into this discussion on what's exactly the day began like in this voting place and what has so far he has observed, and he will be sharing with us. But as you can see, those are agents of different candidates who are here to closely follow and monitor the polling day or polling exercise. Just behind my camera person, there's also another polling station, if we can roll the camera. And the people you are seeing here, I think some are also those who have come in to vote, or already they have voted, but they are eagerly waiting or following the exercise. The other ends, as you can see, it is also a polling station here at Upper Mbuya, where they're voting. You don't expect this is an area which is close or attached to the UPDF, but you don't see their presence here. You literally see, as you can see in your pictures, I will emphasize who are unarmed. Then you can see officials of the Electoral Commission. They're closely monitoring and following this exercise. I'm trying to see whether we can get Honorable Kabaziguruka Mike to at least share 1 or 2 words with us as we wind up this broadcast. But we will continue roaming around different parts of the city to ensure that you get every inch of the details of what is happening in as far as this polling day is concerned. We have been in Nakawa, but so far wherever we have gone, there is literally a complaint about the low turnout. But this arises from many factors where different politicians have talked about the low turnout in different angles. But that we will entirely leave that to Electoral Commission and the politicians to at least shape the debate. But as observers, the Fourth Estate, we are not doing anything wrong to just at least chip in different people to speak about that particular aspect. Joining me here, as I did give you in the preamble, is a veteran politician, is a key political figure in this area. He is a former member of parliament. He has gone in the different courts of Uganda, won cases, and here comes Honorable Michael Kabaziguruka. Good afternoon, Honorable.
Well, a very good afternoon to you and all the viewers of UBC. As you can see, today we are here at Mbuya, just outside the DIS, or what was formerly CMI, DIS gate, where we have about 10 polling stations. Voting started a bit late, but it is moving on, albeit with a few challenges here and there, especially on the side of the EC staff who are compromising the integrity of this exercise. We see soldiers coming in here in full battle gear, casting votes.
The few minutes I've spent here, I've not seen a soldier. Can we get the details of that?
Well, they were here earlier, and if you wait a bit longer, you will definitely see, because they take them, change into a different fatigue. You know, they come dressed in JAT uniform, fully, you know, covered with all the eyes, everything. They come in with voter location slips, which are actually not theirs. And once we point it out, the EC staff are saying, no, give them, let them vote. They are going for duty. Let them vote. They go change into civilian attire, come back and vote. Then they go and change the fatigue and come back and vote. So we have multiple voting by the same people, which is being unfortunately aided by the Electoral Commission staff. I have tried to engage the supervisors, I have called the elections management and others who are saying we are coming, but the reality is there is no help coming. The EC here has been overrun by the military, and they are doing as they please. It is rather unfortunate that at the time you came in, the situation is a bit calm, but they are being ferried and, you know, accessing polling stations. They cut off the polling stations. They come in about 10, 20, heavily armed. You know, the law says you cannot have a gun at a polling station. Even the polling constables are not armed. But these people are coming in full battle gear, heavily armed.
Ideally, Honorable, who are those voters supposed to vote from this particular polling station?
It is registered voters who are on the Electoral Commission register and who should properly identify themselves. So anybody in full battle gear with a helmet, with masks, you know, hoods, should not be voting here. We have scenarios of people who are being ferried from the nearby centers. You see these young boys here, they are being ferried by the team that you found me standing with there, who are saying, you know, let's strike a deal, you know, we give you so many votes. Really, that is absolute nonsense. We must ensure that this exercise is credible and that taxpayers' money is respected. You can't run mock and sham elections. You can't. It is a travesty. So I don't know what Byabakama and his team are actually up to. Why would you subject a country to such a sham process? Really, it is terrible.
Away from that, what are other challenges you have encountered since morning?
Well, as I said, you know, every soldier who comes out of DIS or Ministry of Defense comes to set his own ground rules here. This is not a military operation. This is an Electoral Commission exercise. But for them to come and say, no, supervisors should be there, agents should be seated there, you know, they have overrun the commission. They are giving the presiding officers instructions on how to proceed and manage the election, which is wrong.
So, Honorable, is this the only polling station you have closely worked in, or you have at least assessed others in different parts?
Today, I am deployed here and at the polling stations down at Rambuya Primary, which are all military polling stations. There are 10 here and 13 down there, making it a total of 23 polling stations that I am fully in charge of. So the challenges that are here were earlier there, but I went in there, rectified them. So when I rectified them, the entire team that we failed to vote down there now migrated to here.
Will you accept the outcomes of such a poll?
Well, we shall advise our agents on how to proceed, on whether they should sign or not sign the declaration of results forms, because I am going to advise my principal, who is the Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago, on what is happening here. Then he will instruct me on what to tell the agents. So we have the option of either signing the DR forms or rejecting them and stating reasons as to why we have refused to sign. Okay, so it is something we're going to run through the chain, because I'm going to explain to him exactly what is obtaining here. Yes.
Well, our viewers, that is Honorable Michael Kabaziguruka, very emotional there about the few challenges which are rising amidst this exercise. We want to keep this broadcast very short, and the rest of the coverage will be coming in later on. I just want to emphasize that we have been coming to you live from Buya Upper, where Ugandans who are residing in this area have also joined the rest of the Kampala residents who are voting in as far as this year's general elections. I mean, that is the local government, where we are voting today as Kampala Metropolitan for road mayors, division mayors, and district councillors and direct women councillors. I want to pause this at this moment, and I hand back this microphone to the broadcast house at 911. I'm Robert Onyango.
Well, that is Robert Onyango at Apambuya, where there are quite a number of polling stations. And of course, with Honorable Kabaziruka, one of the things there, he made quite a number of allegations that we cannot prove because actually we do not have the evidence. But as a politician, those are really allegations. And from his side, I loved when Onyango asked him that we at the polling station, but I have not seen any soldier in Fulgia. And unfortunately, when the camera tried to zoom around, we weren't able to locate any because polling is still going on. One of the issues he said early morning, also at that polling station, they delayed to start. Now I am trying to figure out if they delayed to start and these soldiers were voting early morning. How did it happen? Then also the fact that he said the situation, the hope he gave that it was at another polling station and he halted it. Now they transferred to this other station. But unfortunately, where they transferred, they weren't visibly there. So we will treat those as allegations until maybe when we get confirmation that yes, this is evidence. But as of now, Ugandans, we urge you to treat those as allegations till he can or otherwise. Now, I'm back to you, Honorable Sebaru. You said you are not able to vote.
No.
Or you delayed and voted.
Delayed. I was at the polling station at 7, ready to vote, go have breakfast and come here to join you for the analysis. But the electoral materials were not there until 9:50. So about 10:15 is when we started voting, and I was the first to cast my ballot. So I really want to say that Electoral Commission need to up their game in terms of time management. The other time, still, they were late. Even when the machines failed, still, they arrived late. I've been able to observe elections in a number of countries. Especially, I was the leader of the East African Community Observer Mission in Kenya, 2007. And what amazed me is that we were at the polling centers by 6 as observers to participate in the formalities. But by 6, all the materials were in place, all the electoral officials were in place, and the voters were overwhelmingly present. So we needed to pick such best practices.
Moreover, here in Kampala.
In Kampala, be there. When you talk of elections commencing at 7, be there by 6. Deliver by 5:30 and be there so that you allow people to exercise their right. Today is even more sensitive because it is not a public holiday. And I really want us to also talk about that in terms of the value proposition for the entire electoral process. What value do we attach to the different cycles and the different generations of elections? So being a public holiday, many people want to go there early, vote, and be able to catch up with
Not being
work.
a public holiday.
Yes, not being a
sometimes
public
you have to
holiday.
seek permission from your
yeah,
boss.
and some employers may
tell
not.
them you're
Yeah,
going
you
to
can't
vote.
tell, especially in the private sector.
Yes.
It is the day that will be cancelled.
My shop is open.
Yes.
You're an attendant. Are you going to close
and you
shop
go.
to go and vote?
Yeah. So that's where now the issue of time management becomes crucial, so that even with the inconvenience of not being a public holiday, those that are patriotic and want to exercise their rights can do it first thing in the morning and be in time for their workplace.
Now, Honorable, before you even go any further, you're the president of Rotary Club. Is it you're a
governor,
governor,
district governor?
You know, titles also disturb me.
Yes, yes.
The Rotarians, you have a lot of titles there that you must understand very well. District, this, that. Now, as former governor, there is something I've observed. Now I'm speaking to the class of you people. You analyze, not to say Mike Sebaru, for you vote, but vote. We've left voting to some group of people, but the elite, educated professors, they're not voting. They're not. You're not seeing them in lines, Honorable. Yet you're the people who know policies, who know this, you know what roles someone has to do. You have a big stake in this country in terms of businesses, wealth, so much.
That is a very, very interesting question, and it has as many answers as the individuals that form that category. But I think the issue of people not voting, to me, is largely an issue to do with civic education. And in civic education, it should target different sections of society. Because even the elite, you can have a group discussion.
Why wouldn't a professor? You expect them to be knowledgeable, a CEO of a company.
No. You see, that is an assumption. By being a professor and he's in an advantaged position, he may assume that others will do it. There are those who are complacent. And we have them in the movement, in the NRM. You find there are people in the NRM, you call him and say, look, didn't you vote? And someone is saying, President Museveni has already won. He's basing it because the party has massive support, and he imagines that there are many people, and he's like, there are those who don't have much to do, and there are many of them, so they've already done the work for us. So that is complacency. So you need to engage those kind of people and make them accountable on their civic rights and responsibilities. Because you are a CEO, but you have a right to use your civic right to choose a leader. And if you've not chosen a leader, you don't have a right to complain. And you find when things go wrong, they are the first to complain, bring theories, bring comparisons, this and that, when they did not participate. So that's why you need civic education that targets different categories of people. You target the elite, you target the middle class, you target the ordinary people, you target the youth, so that you get them to appreciate why it is such an important responsibility. That is the reason that the presidential and parliamentary is made a public holiday, so that someone has no excuse whatsoever not to participate. And that's where I want the Electoral Commission and the government to put the same premium. If you make it a public holiday for the presidential and parliamentary, then why not make it a public holiday for the district chairman, the mayors, and the district councillors and the city councillors. Is it less of an important vote? To me, every vote is important. Every cycle, every choice made should be done in an environment where no one has an excuse. The low voter turnout this time is going to be explained more because it was not a public holiday. I had to work. I had to attend to my duties. And yet, the other week, we gave 2 public holidays. In my view, they should have given one, the voting day, and then the second one should have come here for this one, and then even go to the one for sub-counties and the division, so that 3 days are dedicated to allow people perform their civic rights without any excuse whatsoever, because every level of leadership is equally important, and we should attach the same value to every electoral process.
Attach the same value to every electoral process. Of course, that brings in the public holiday also, but won't many public holidays have a huge financial implication on the
I
country
agree
as well?
It would have. But what about the cost of mismanaging that process? If you know, the cost of democracy is to allow full participation. And that is the reason that for the presidential and parliamentary, it is a public holiday. So the cost should not only be seen in one day or one electoral cycle. It should be seen in all, because if any of the 3 cycles is messed up, the cost is much bigger than the cost of a public holiday.
Now, I've heard many of the candidates bring back the biometric voter verification kits not being used this time around. But we saw that on the 15th, the Electoral Commission, still after seeing a few challenges, decided to drop them. Honorable Sebaru, do you think this should be something that by now, because we've had a successful election, not having them, and it has delivered results, and previously we did not even have them, and by law there is nowhere where it is a religious vote, the biometric verification. The law talks about the register. So is this something that people should still cling on as of now, and even put as something that will affect their victory?
No, I think there are 2 things here. The National Voter Register is a reference point. It is indeed the most competent document to be used. But the verification machines were brought in to take the transparency and the level of verification to a much higher level. Because you are talking about the facial verification, you are talking about the thumb verification and the ballot itself. So that is a higher degree of verification, and it creates higher level of accountability in the process and the legitimacy of the outcome. But by law, the voter register is the mother document, is the mother reference point, if I were to call it. But the other one is to put it to a higher level, and the president really wanted that to be, in order to improve the electoral outcome in terms of verification, in terms of outcome. So it is a good thing. But the fact that it was not able to do its job,
despite billions invested into that.
I think this time around, it was good that they were able to take a decision straight away to start without them. But they owe it to the nation to explain what caused the failure and whether the failure still pertains up to now. Because they've had a week since. And during that process, some remedial measures ought to have been taken. So they ought to say that it failed because of ABCD, and in the interest of time between the 2 electoral processes, we were not able to fix it, or it will be fixed, or it needs more time. So there is a need for some explanation to cover the gap that was created. So for the actors to ask and question, I think they have, because they believe in it, and they thought it was going to do a better job, bring it to higher level of accountability. So I think they have a point saying, look, it didn't work the other time. Hasn't it worked this time as well? When it didn't work, what did you do? And how far have you gone? I think those answers are necessary to give the stakeholders good assurance, because the investment was not small and the expectations were very high. So they are like, can't we benefit from the same going forward? And that is a legitimate question.
Now, we had the presidential and parliamentary elections. Honorable Mike, your party did win. Your candidate, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, took that day. Parliamentary, still NRM took it. Because when you look at the number of parliamentarians of the NRM,
353?
353 members of parliament. You can add all the opposition.
Absolute majority.
Absolute majority, definitely. Yeah. And of course, parliament, the 12th parliament, will not be any different from the 11th parliament, where in case there is anything and it requires voting, NRM has already the majority and the number that is needed, even if these abscond to pass a bill in parliament. So it may not be any different. Congratulations to NRM as a party. In these lower ranks, say the mayor race, I want to take you on Kampala. You've observed, you've been on ground, and you're very conscious about your party and its success.
Yeah.
Do we see, in a period of over 2 decades, Kampala having a mayor from the ruling party?
I can't rule it out completely. Attention has been given to the two who appear to be taking a front run. That is the incumbent and the challenger, Balimwezo. But you can't rule out Chizito, who is hoisting the NRM flag in the capital city. The attention as of now is on the two, but he could pull off a big surprise because we've mobilized for him using the parish mobilization model. We combed Kampala quite thoroughly, where we were meeting all the 63 leaders in a village within the parish, and that model was informed by a formula of addition and multiplication. And definitely through that formula, we were able to deliver Nakawa. Ruhindi is home and dry. We were able to deliver Kawempe. Madina and Sereko is home and dry. We were able to deliver Central. Minsa Kabanda is home and dry. So that formula can pull yet another surprise with the mayor race. Although as of now, people don't seem to put quite attention, but he has a good ground, he has a good message, and he has good support across the city. And I want to encourage city dwellers to come out en masse and exercise your civic rights and responsibility of choosing your Lord Mayor for the next 5 years. Put emphasis, because of the reasons we've just shared with the Kirabo regarding public holiday, no public holiday, regarding presidential parliamentary day and these elections. For me, my own good thinking is that the elections today are equally important. They may even be more important in my view, because it is at that level that service delivery that affects you directly in Kampala or in any city or in any district is exercised. We've talked about the central government. That is a government. The next level of a government is the district or the city. It has a budget, it has the resources that effect the service delivery requirements in your parishes, in your villages. The manifesto of the winning candidate can only be implemented more effectively and efficiently at the level of the district or the city, going down the local government. So when you talk about the central government and you talk about local government, don't take these governments and elections to be local. They only reflect a jurisdiction, but these are national elections in outlook, in outreach, and in importance. Because even in the coverage, these elections are across the entire country, which makes them national in terms of scope, in terms of coverage, in terms of outlook, in terms of outreach, and they affect the entire nation and the entire population. The good view would be that people even come in bigger numbers. I would have expected a bigger turnout for these elections because they concern you. This is your leader, the one you can go to, the one you can talk to, the one you can invite to attend to a problem in your area. UPE, Universal Primary Education, these are the people to fix it. Education and health care through the referral hospitals, health center 3s and 2s. These are the people to fix it. The roads that are giving you trouble in your upcountry setting, these are the people to fix them. The water, everything that affects your life directly is handled by this level of government. And it is local to your area. It is customized to your real needs. So I really want to encourage people out there, those that haven't made it, you still have some 3 hours to go. Please come out and decide on whom you think will do a good job. I can give you an example of Wakiso, where I come from. Wakiso is a vast district with a lot of challenges. At one point, when Wakiso was carved out of Mpiji, it had a leadership that allowed it to do a lot. The headquarters was fixed. So many things were done. But for the last 15 years, hardly anything has been done. Now this provides an opportunity to relook and see what you need to do in order to get back to your feet and move the way you moved at some point. So that's why we must come out. That's why even when they were late, I was there at 7. I had to wait up to 10:15 when I cast my ballot, because I knew that I needed to take a decision so that I'm responsible. I don't want to complain when I did not invest. If I don't vote and another leader comes, I have no right to complain when that leader doesn't deliver. But if I voted a leader and the leader assumes office, I have a right to take on him or her and say, I gave you my vote. This was my investment. What is the return on my investment? So that is very, very important value proposition on the basis of the voter and on the basis of the leader offering themselves.
Honorable, I know, and I'm very sure as a politician, you've heard of the word eyes on, hands off. You've also heard of the word the technical stuff. Now, many times when we look at these lower positions, we've had the political heads there use these words. When asked, he will tell you, us, it is eyes on, hands off. Then later, he will tell you the technical team, Kampala. We've had so much of the technical wing and the political wing. Now, where these say we do not implement, for us we do these things, they do not come in. And sometimes people have asked, then why do we have these people here? I've been speaking to quite a number of people and asking them, right, why don't you go and vote for these people? Tell you, but Robert, at the end of the day, these people, it is the technical, it is the technical. Please throw more light, because that's why even some feel once we have the president, the MP, these districts have technical people. Once we have the president, yes, KCC has a technical. These politicians, apart from getting their hefty allowances and maybe earnings in here, they don't attach value, and they see it hard to hold them accountable.
No, if you are to use the same argument, then the same argument should apply to the national level, because you have the civil service. The president and the MPs don't equally implement, but they do oversight over the technical people. That's why you have clear mandates. In the case of members of parliament, you make the laws, you represent the people, you pass the budget, and you do oversight. The same applies to a local government. The councillor and the chairperson do represent the people. They make the bylaws of the local government. They pass the budget in their local jurisdiction. The city budget is passed by the council. The district budget.
Most of the times you've had challenges, them rioting,
the district
causing chaos there.
The district budget is passed by the district council, and then the chairman and the councillors do oversight. Because once you've passed money, you need to get value for money, and you need to also ensure that there is equitable sharing of the district or the city cake, whereby each division, whereby each aspect is given. Issues of equity are very important, and those are determined by political leaders. You know, when the chairman makes an undertaking to fix a road within Wakiso going to a certain destination, among those that are supposed to be made by the district, then he has the authority to follow through and ensure that the technical people do implement. So what should be important and what we should be asking is, what kind of leaders are we choosing? You need to have leaders who are technical enough to use that knowledge in oversight. Otherwise, if you chose someone who doesn't have an idea of how a budget is operated, he will find difficulty overseeing the implementation of the budget. That's why we need to pick very competent people to be political leaders at those levels and be able to do good oversight, be able to ensure good service delivery. So for me, the issue is not whether to vote them or not. The issue is, what kind of leaders do we need if we are to get a good return on the investment in the local government in terms of efficient and effective service delivery, efficient and effective budgeting, efficient and effective bylaws that allow the district to deliver to the expectations of the stakeholders, including the voters.
Well said. So this vote is something that you should think of seriously before casting it. Are you voting ability? Are you voting excitement? Are you merely saying, I'm a loyal cadre to my political party, therefore I'll just stick? Now, Honorable, this also takes me to the breed of leaders that we are having as a country. Now, for presidential, for parliamentary, at least there is something to do with that educational cap. A requirement, minimum of senior 6. For our local cadres going down, and I've seen this sometimes when we reach to councillors. There was a time I was so often in Kawempe. They had a, now C5, I think was it called Takuba, some mayor. I'm trying to recall
Mayor
his name.
Takuba. He was, I think, the first mayor of the division.
He was a very good friend of mine, away from politics. So many a times he used to invite me to the council as a journalist in training by then, and he would tell me, come and sit. I'll protect you, come and sit, because when you're finally done with school, you're going to be covering these things. So he used to invite me, and I used to go and sit there, and comfortable. But I noticed some challenges. When you talk about analyzing budget, doing this and that, it seems these are positions that are so open to everybody, regardless of what. So do we then leave alone for places like Kampala, where we're talking about mayor, for the mayors and maybe some few woman district councillor, district chairperson, those, but when you go lower, Honorable, it seems we've not attached value to these positions. I don't know your perception of that.
Yeah.
In terms of looking for competency and ability. You know, you look for, because you'd expect these are people who have served, they are knowledgeable, they have some insight, but sometimes you wonder.
Yeah, two things need to be analyzed in that respect. One, those that take to leadership as a calling. That category, that space is shrinking. We don't have quite a number in that space. Then we have those that are taking to leadership as a career, as a way of life, as a way of making ends meet. Then you find those that are passionate about service. But what is the bottom line that is creating contradictions is that politics has become very extremely and highly monetized at all levels. So some good people, technical people, experienced, exposed, are there who would really wish to go and put some brick on the development of their districts or local governments. But what one needs to go through, the kind of money one needs to spend, and the kind of allowance is getting, because at the local level, it's not like Parliament, because Parliament, the remuneration is good. But in local government, the remuneration is bad, and yet one has to invest a lot in terms of time, terms of money, even the kind of abuses you go through, malignment, even, you know, it is quite an activity and a challenging one. So there are those good people who are like, why do I have to go through this? Yet I'm offering a service. So it doesn't become very attractive. But for those who want it as a career, they are ready to pay anything. Then they reach there and they get disappointed. Someone sunk in some 20 million and is getting some allowances that are not very attractive. Some even abandon along the way. They never finish their term. So those are challenges. But again, that is part of civic education. We need to also give leaders civic education before you go into leadership.
Yes.
Why are you going into leadership? Are you a servant leader? Are you going there as a calling? You are ready to sacrifice for the good of your area, or you are going there to make a fortune? So fortune hunters usually get very disappointed with the outcome there. So there is a need for civic education, because some people come into that not knowing what to expect. They get there, get disappointed, get frustrated, abandon, and you find the voters suffering at the end of the day. So in as much as we need to empower the voters, likewise we need to empower the aspirants to know exactly what is expected of them, what levels of sacrifice they are supposed to make, how they are supposed to be resilient, and how they should give priority to the work once they decide to serve.
Okay, now you've rightly talked about the fact that we have people who may want to serve but find it hard when they look at the commercialization of politics today, but also the style of doing politics in this country. Sometimes you have politics that is dominated with verbal artillery. Now a man like my guest today,
acid. They have a terminology these days. It's acid or something.
Something like that.
Someone can pour acid on you. That is talking all kinds of trash.
Trash against you. So some people may just abstain from that. They are not ready to go into that battle of nonsensical utterances. Actually, in the fate of leading and governing people.
I can tell you, even at the level of parliament, the real leaders we need are out there. Many of them have not come up, but they are there. Because there are two things. There are leaders you need. There are leaders you want. And there are leaders you need. Just like President Museveni, there are many voters who may not want him. Maybe they want Kyagulanyi. But in the real sense, they need President Museveni. Because the kind of stability you are witnessing, maybe Kyagulanyi may not give you that stability. may not give you that security. He is popular, he's a popular person, but there is a difference between popularity and leadership. There are many leaders who have made it to parliament through popularity. That's why musicians and many of those people, what they call the celebrity, many of them have been celebrity out. But you find that some celebrities haven't even made their maiden speech in
sorry,
parliament.
I have to interject and we take a look at Beatrice Mao. And I think she's escorted the husband, Honorable Minister, and also MP-elect, could have escorted the wife. She's one of the contestants or the candidates in the mayor race. Yes, that is Honorable Norbert Mao accompanying the wife to cast their vote. She is the second lady in this race, the mayor race for Kampala. Who will be the next mayor of Kampala? Will it be Nabira Nagai Sempala, an independent, or will it be Beatrice Mao? Casting Beatrice Mao there in the Benson. She's sticking, and definitely I want to believe she's sticking herself, and she's even displayed it. Yeah. Yes, she's displayed it that I have. It
is obvious.
I have ticked my. Well, I can't say it is obvious.
It happened once.
It happened once, and someone didn't even turn up.
It is still
Dr. Orara Otunu never turned up.
It is still a story.
Now let's. I think Jordan is at that polling station. Let's listen to Mike Jordan.
Ticked properly. She's in the company of her dear husband, the Honorable Norbert Mao, who is also DP President, which is her party, and also Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs here at Busabala Road. This place, I'm told, is called the Late area, polling area, and there are like 4 polling stations here. So she is casting the ballot for Lord Councillor. She has finished with the Lord Mayor, going now for the Lord Councillor ballot, and we now continue to the other post that will be the woman councillor. Yes. Atulaba ku Star TV tuli wano ku luguudo lw'e Busaabala polling area bagiyita ew'omugenzi mpaji okusinziira nga bwe batugambye.
Thank you, Jordan Lokomwa. There, Beatrice Mao, the wife to Norbert Mao. He is MP-elect and he has been the minister, so he has accompanied his better half at the polling station, and she has done the voting. One of the things that I like about her is her hairstyle. You know, she's so much of this generation, I must say, and she associates so much with them. Beautiful hairstyle there.
We have the NRM aspirant Chizito. Has he been tracked also so that we are able, so that we give them equity in terms of visibility?
So far we've been able to have Elias Lukwago.
Yes.
That is PFF.
Yes.
We've had Engineer Ronald Balimwezo. That is the new candidate. Here we are having Beatrice Mao for the DP also cast her vote. I'm yet to know.
They also had Kasozi. I think Kasozi.
Ibrahim Kasozi.
Yes.
That is FDC.
So now the NRM is missing in action.
And also Nabila Nagai Sempala. Independent. She has not yet cast her vote. But of course, be rest assured, Honorable Sevaru, that I said we are giving you a 360 coverage. So anytime your candidate goes to cast their vote, or if they are willing, and also Nabila, we shall have each of the candidates, as long as they have cast their vote and they have let people know, because also that is another issue, like I told you. So that is Mike Jones. Let's listen to him.
Taking this direction. We thank you so much for watching. This is Busabala Road but this part is still KCCA. Remember, Busabala Road has...
You want to talk to the media?
I think here. Yes. A comment about the day.
How do you feel? Today was great.
Today was great. Yeah, today was good. Today was good. I was born here, actually, up there, and it feels good to be back home. And the turn up is not all that good, but let's see what happens.
Does the turn up affect you in any way?
It kind of does, because I think in future we need to create awareness and let people know that exercising your right is very, very important in terms of changing leaders.
Why do you think you're confused? Because we've seen them in the presidential election, but this time around it's different.
I think they got discouraged by the last voting of the presidential elections when they turned up in masses and the technology wasn't working. So I think they just didn't bother to come.
What do you expect in this election?
I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting a win. Yeah. Yeah. Chintiisiza in a way, but chintiisiza naye tulina okumanya nti I think abalonzi luli bwe bajja okulonda president ne ba member of parliament ne basanga ng'ebyuma tebikola bagetinga discouraged. Ekirala obululu buno bwa local government abantu tebabwettanira tebamanyi na kumanya kuba abamu babadde bankubira nga baŋŋamba tulondera wa ku KCCA oba n'olwekyo tulina okuyigiriza abantu ne tuteekawo ebiraga nti okulonda gye kuli era tulondera wano. Nsuubira nti gye bujja tulina okikola. Bannakampala bansuubiremu bingi okuteebereza mulabe oluguudo lwe muyiseemu okujja okutuuka wano bwe lufaanana, wano we nazaalibwa, wano we nakulira. N'olwekyo bansuubiremu bingi eby'enguudo, eby'amasomero, eby'obuyonjo n'ebirala bingi nnyo. N'olwekyo mbasaba obululu bwabwe wadde nze mmaze okulonda.
Mu kalulu akawedde ku bapulezidenti n'abaka palamenti bangi bo bakalangirira abaali bavuganya omutima gyali tegibateese bagamba waliwo okudda obululu mu kaseera akasembayo nga abawangudde tebalangirira. Gwe Beatrice Mao kino kyetegekedde otya ku ssaawa esembayo nga kalu kamaze okuvuna ku lwaliiro?
Nze omulimu gwange ngukoze, meseji yange etambudde, abantu bawutegedde kikyendi kikyensobola okukola. N'olwekyo ebirala byonna ŋŋenda birekera ab'obuyinza ababirimu babitambuze. Ekinaavaayo kyonna era omutima gujja kusigala nga nkyayagala okuweereza abantu bange.
Minisita kati nnyo gwe minisita Ssemateeka ekyali kyagala okuva ku palamenti okaka bannayuganda okulonda gwe olowooza essaawa kirekire gwe kuba akakiiko kateekamu nnyo okulonda ekitanaabo temateeka.
Mulimu amawanga nga Belgium okulonda kuli compulsory era wootalonda gavumenti ekkubako fayini, naye mu Uganda kijja kutwala obudde. Sikiwa nti ababaka bajja kukikkiriza kubanga eri ddembe lyo, naye nga abatalonda be batulondera abakulembeze ababi. Omuntu yenna ng'amanyi nti talonda kitegeeza we tufuna omukulembeze atawera, abo abatalonze be baba bamuleese. Honorable, abantu balowooza nti deployment za presidential election ne operations ezaddakaawo nezikyagenda mu maaso ze zaavuddeko okuaffectinga turn-up okuva ku presidential, kubanga ne presidential electoral commission ekulaga nti erina abalonzi 21 million ne around only 11 be baalonda. Abantu balowooza nti deployment n'ebigambo ebyali biveno, we are going to crush you, don't do this, don't do that, bye byatiisizza abantu okujjumbira okulonda nga si bangi paka kati. As a government minister, what is your view? Deployment ebeerawo ku lw'embeera. Kati okusinziira ku bye tulabye, w'osanga nga drone namba ey'abakulembeze ab'ebibiina ebimu mujjuddemu amajambiya. Kati gwe omunnabyabufuzi ayagala obuyinza, lwaki otambula n'amajambiya? Oda kintu kikulu nnyo. Teri gavumenti eyinza kulekerawo okukuuma emirembe, kubanga awatali oda ensi eba teriiwo. Mutunuulire amawanga amalala omutali oda. N'olwekyo nsaba bannayuganda mujje ebyobufuzi mu nsonga za security, kubanga mwe muli awo mulooza byabufuzi naye temumanyi nti waliwo ate abapanga ebirala. Tetwagala kulaba ntalo ku polling stations, naye nga ekirala ekireetera abantu obutajja okulonda bwe buweereza obunafu. Kwegamba abantu bagenda ne basalawo nti ne bwe tunaalonda tebajja tuweereza. N'ekirala enkola eno eyampankuwe. Kati munnabyabufuzi wamala okuwa gwe ekikyoba okifunye ng'onyuse nakyo, kitegeeza tajja kuweereza. Kyoba olaba nti abantu bajjula ku rale waliwo ke bayinza okufuna, naye mu kulonda tebajja. Kitegeeza nti kati ebyobufuzi bifuuse bya pay as you go. Ekyo kye tulina okutunuulira ennyo. Kyoba olaba nti kati abakulembeze bafudde balonzi kufuuka nga bamalaaya, babagula buguzi. Kati omuntu wamala okugula ne bwakusanga enkya takufaako, akulaba nga kasasiro. N'olwekyo abalonzi naffe tweseemu ekitiibwa, abakulembeze baleme kutuvuluga, tubeere nga tusobola okubagambako. Naye omukulembeze yakuguze omugambako otya? N'oluguudo toyinza mugamba nti oluguudo lubi, agamba nti kakati gumira embeera. Naye nga tulonde abakulembeze be tugenda okubanja nga bagenze mu ofiisi. Kampala yali yabava mu ngalo nga DP. Era abantu bejjusa lwaki DPC eri mu buyinza. Okusookera ddala tusobodde okuleeta candidate alimu ensa, candidate ali exposed, candidate amanyi ekibuga bwe kirina okuba. Naye osanga abantu bo basazeewo to live positively with bad leaders. Ndooza oluusi embeera eyo ebeera mu Kampala. Naye nze mu kulaba kwange tuli mu stage ya development nga bannakampala balina okumanya nti beetaaga omukulembeze ayinza okubeera olutindo. Tukoze olutindo ne gavumenti ya wakati, tukoze olutindo ne kibiina ekiri mu buyinza. Sente za gavumenti zituuke mu bantu, tuve mu bino ebyokugabira abooluganda abako n'emikwano. Ekyo tukikoze. N'ekirala kandidate waffe tugezezaako nnyo okutambula naye, newankubadde nga tulina okusoomoozebwa olw'ensonga eziri mu kibiina, naye nga tumanyi nti kandidate wa DP yasinga mu bakandidates bonna. Tekitegeeza nti twamenye etteeka. Waliwo akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ke kaasalawo, kuba ebyuma we byagaana, nayogera ne chairman w'Electoral Commission n'akola consultation ze, oluvannyuma n'asalawo nti tulonde nga tukozesa manual. Ekyo kitukoseza, naye tetugenda kwogera ku nsonga lwaki ebyuma byagaana, kuba wajja kubeerawo okunoonyereza abantu abali technical ate nga bava bweru wa Electoral Commission be balina okunoonyereza ku nsonga eno, kubanga twakozesa sente nnyingi nnyo okugula ebyuma ebyo. Wakyaliwo kye tulina okukola okunoonyereza. Consequence ebeera etya baluluke twamaze okukuba kubanga waliwo illegalities? Tewali illegality, kubanga constitution egamba nti abantu balonde. Osobola okukozesa ebyuma oba osobola okukozesa empapula zino eza voters register. Tewaliwo teeka lyonna lye twamenye. In English about DP and the city, then
Some men are not supportive to their ladies. What brings you to Busabala?
Next question. Okay, in English.
Some men are not supportive to their ladies. What brings you to Busabala at this moment, and where did you vote from?
I am registered in Gulu, and my dear wife is a candidate for Lord Mayor. When you are a husband, husband comes from the word husbandry. That means you care. So any man who is caring would stand by his wife. So I am here to stand by my wife and to tell the public that, first of all, her family and my family, we have decided to support her, to offer herself to serve Kampala. And she did it based on her dream, which she has held even before we met. This is a dream she has had since like 2017. So I am here as a supportive husband, as a supportive friend, and also a leader of the Democratic Party who believes that we have offered the best. And I think it is for the same reasons that you are here.
DP and the city in English. The city had gone out of your hand as a party. How much effort?
When DP was in charge, the ordinary people were happy in Kampala. We must know that we are still a developing country. This is not a city for skyscrapers only. This is not a city for people who trade in dollars. But with the coming in of Lord Mayor Lukwago, because he's sponsored by corrupt businessmen and businesswomen, he is not accountable to the ordinary people. He just postures. So people are missing DP, and DP will come back in this election because DP is a party of the ordinary people. That's why our symbol is the hoe. When Sebana Kizito was here, he started estates like Namuongo so that the poor people are not chased away. But now the poor people are being chased to Matuga. They are being told go to Luwero. The poor people are being told go to the suburbs. Now they are saying we have Kampala Metropolitan Authority. That means the poor are leaving. But when DP was in charge, we told the people that you belong here. And Beatrice has been saying she wants a city for everyone. Just like you have traffic. When you have a road, you have big trucks, you have small trucks, you have cars, you have motorcycles, bicycles, and even pedestrians. So Kampala should also have room for all classes of people. And that's why DP governed Kampala better. When DP was in charge, nobody ever died. No hawkers were ever chased to their death. We never allowed enforcement officers. We never privatized some of the services. We made sure the government remained the government.
You enacted a constitutional instrument that mandated the mandatory use of biometric machines in voting. This time around, they have not been used in some parts of the country, and many people are already doing the results of the elections. What is your comment on the non-use and non-compliance of biometric machines?
The beauty with elections is that winners always say the elections were free and fair. And losers always say the elections were not free and not fair. As for the machines, the Electoral Commission had to take an executive decision. I spoke to the chairman of the Electoral Commission on the morning of the elections, and he assured me that we would go ahead with voting. Voting is about expressing the people's will, because Uganda is a republic. We work through representatives. The people made their choice. Concerning the failures of the machines, those are matters that will be investigated, and we will get to know. That's a technical process I don't want to get into, but these machines were demonstrated. So these machines, they were working. But on the morning of election, they were not working. I don't have the answers, but there will be an inquiry and we will publicize the outcome of the inquiry.
Just one to the candidate. The Lord Mayor is described as ceremonial in many instances in Kampala as per the current law. An amendment was even made that even roles for the Speaker of the Council were taken away from that office. What is going to happen to the promises you're making to your electorate? We want people to ask questions that you will not have answers to.
Like our president said, when DP was in Kampala, we were better off. When I reclaim this seat back, we will get back to order. Is there an insect on my face? Okusookera ddala njagala kwebaza Bannakampala at large abambeereddewo ne banjagala nga nze nzize mu reesi muno n'enjagalwa ebibiina eby'enjawulo n'ensanga nga aba NRM aba FDC aba PFF so nzize ng'omuntu ate abantu ne banjagala nga nze n'olwekyo nga sinnabawadde okwogera kyonna neebaza nnyo Bannakampala abandaze omutima ate ne bawuliriza ebirowoozo byange era ne bagamba nti kituufu City Hall yeetaaga kukyusibwamu.
Hobart Mao accompanying the wife Beatrice Mao to cast her vote. Very interesting couple there. The other time when she asked, I think she felt something on her face. That is there an insect on my face? Well, if she's given the mantle, Kampala will change according to her. Honorable Sebaru, do the electorate know the core fundamental roles of mayors, lord mayors, district chairpersons, the electorate? Do they?
That can be looked
Just
at.
a minute, let's listen to what Jordan has to say.
And she has all the hopes. She was accompanied by her husband. We are still here. That is the best we can tell you. Atulaba kusta tubadde ne mukyala Beatrice Mao ng'awerekeddwako omwami we Norbert Mao, president wa DP ate era minister wa Ssemateeka.
Well, thank you so much, Jordan Alukomwa, for following. And of course, you know, you later on be back with yet another update. Honorable Mike Sebaru, do the electorate know?
No, I think...
Because I've been promised so much. I'll work on this road. It's been dusty for a long time. Lord Mayor,
that's where we are getting it wrong. The leaders coming out and in many ways misleading the electorate because the work of a mayor is cut out and it is more ceremonial, but with some executive responsibilities, which is undertaken by the ED and the technical team, the directors of engineering, education, and all that. So the people need to choose someone who is in position to inspire, motivate, empower, and encourage the team to deliver. You don't deliver, but you cause delivery to be made. And that's why you need an outstanding personality or persona who feels for the city, wants it to be at a certain level, works with, builds a team around, because you've had mayors fighting with the technical people, literally calling them names and maligning them. You can't build a city, you can't do good work in the city like that. To do good work in the city, don't politicize the office to the level of partisan levels. Look at what is good for Kampala. Whether it has come from people that are opposed to your ideas, look at it for its goodness. So you should be able to build a team, motivate a team, encourage a team, and put Kampala over and above partisan considerations. That is the kind of person that we need. But because people, the leaders have gone out, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll fight for you. You don't have to fight for people of Kampala. You simply have to put order, put delivery, put systems, put structures, put processes, and put procedures, and follow them in spirit and letter. When something is not working, if you're a mayor, you're not supposed to answer for everything. If the roads are not working well, in an area where such is demanded, you can cause a conversation between the major stakeholders, the voters, the people. Then you go with the city engineer and you cause him to explain why a road that was pledged 5 years ago, even the groundbreaking hasn't been able to be done. That way you'll be able to deliver without appearing to be the one doing it, because you're not supposed to do. A good leader doesn't do. A good leader causes to be done what ought to be done.
Now, Honorable, rightly you've described the kind of leader we need for Kampala, but we've always had, now we know voting is in urban or in cities, the electing city mayors, Kampala, Lord Mayor, district chairpersons, and the councillors at LC5. We have the women councillor and to continue. But in Kampala, we've had the issue of the law. Many a times, we've had the current Lord Mayor, during that time when we had Jennifer Msias, the executive director, also at that time we had Honorable Frank Tumwe was there, also as the Minister for Kampala. Then we sailed through, still with the current ED, that the law that brought in Kampala, giving a special status from Kampala City Council to KCC, no, from KCCA to Kampala City Authority, that there are lacunas, there are gaps, there are some that bring this conflict or less enable the political head of the city, of the capital city of the authority, to be visible and serve the people. That whoever may come, if we still have the law the way it is, will not be of more value and conflict will continue to prevail.
No, I want you to clarify two things. Because the law, one, the good thing about lawmaking and legislation is that there is always a provision for amendment. For you to put right what was not foreseen, or to be able to accommodate changing trends and changing dynamics. So that provision is there, and it should be put to good use. If at all the law becomes the issue, when we look at what is not working and attribute it to the law, then we can always have it amended to allow it to apply and create an enabling environment for the different actors to work optimally within their spaces. But when you put emphasis so much on like power, I think we lose it. Because what makes Kampala and what makes Kampala work? What makes Kampala are systems, structures, offices, procedures, processes. That's what makes any institution functional, where each one have their space. You don't have to dominate space in order to deliver. You can work within your space, but work as a team. And one of the things that creates problems for leaders and certain actors is the I syndrome. It is, you find a lot of delivery where there is the we as a team. Because, for instance, you have an ED who has a clear mandate You are a mayor, you have your mandate, you have your council members, they have their mandate, which is basically legislative, representative, budget and oversight. You have the technical people, you know, education, you have engineering, you have gender, all those. As a team leader, your basic role is not to be seen to be the one doing it. It is to coordinate these people, inspire these people, motivate these people. Actually, a good leader is a cheerleader. A good leader is a cheerleader. When you're a cheerleader and you make your team deliver, if you have a good teams always make their leaders look good. So that is how you deal with it. So unless you say that the law does not allow the different actors to function as a team, if you can cite any provision of the law that creates it difficult
proper
for teamwork,
roles.
It's about demarcating work. Keep in your lane. And you don't run all over the lane. Accidents are always caused by people not keeping their lane. Even in management, you can cause accidents when you keep meandering all over the space. Keep in your lane, watch your colleagues, support them, be each other's keeper, cheer each other. It is about a team. I have this saying, and it is attributed, I've said that there is no one who is 100% useless. Neither is there anyone who is 100% useful. Everyone has a degree of usefulness. So you just have to get the best out of everyone. And that should be the emphasis. At the end of the day, the collective good will deliver.
At the end of the day, the collective good will deliver. Now, Honorable Sebaru, I also want to take you today as we are electing these particular leaders. They have councils to work with. We are in a multi-party dispensation. I remember Kampala, we once upon a time had a Lord Mayor of another party, and the council was extremely dominated by NRM. Recently, we had NUP, then you have Elias Lukwago, another party. I've seen even at districts, you have the district chairperson of another party, then the council, and we then have these conflicts in there. The Lord Mayor says this, believes this could be the direction. Councillors, because they succumb to another political party, also stand different grounds. Politics is played there at the expense of the people of Kampala or for that particular district. How best can we overcome this, yet we are in multi-party dispensation? I don't know this time around, KCCA, City Hall, the councillors, are they going to be more of NRM, more of NUP? If in case we have a Lord Mayor who is NUP or who is DP, and the majority of the council is different, parliamentary and executive it is different, because of course NRM you've gotten your majority already.
Yeah, but I think we need to recollect our knowledge of who a leader is. When we elect these leaders from the viewpoint of our parties, that is like the vehicle that gets them to the council. You use your parties as a vehicle to the destination of a council. Once you've taken oath, the oath you take does not mandate you to push partisan interests. The oath you take clearly puts you in position to do good for the good of the people you are serving. Now, any councillor in the city council, any councillor in the district council is serving the interests of the entire district. In the district, there are no roads that are NRM and roads that are NUP. A road is a road and it serves everyone. And if you are a leader worth your title and your position and office, you should be able to look at the principles. Why am I in council? I'm in council to solve the problems of the geographical area of the district that I'm representing. What are the problems? There are roads, it's education, quality, it is health facilities, no medicine, no what. Those are the issues that should be your top priority and should preoccupy you. And when you are in the council, the problems are not partisan.
But we've seen a number of councils, I know, Honorable, you followed this, where at most at the time of passing budgets, you hear a councillor Bedimie, councillors stormed out. You hear one demanded the other. If you're for this political party, guys, is here it's been boxing.
That is what I'm trying to prove. Those are not leaders. And it goes back to our choice. If you choose those kind of leaders, you are going to have those kind of problems. We have, for instance, some people, now we are looking at the young people, and we are like, no, it must be youth, it must be youth. But there are some people who are retired, very knowledgeable. They already have their livelihood. They are not going to council for peanuts, for anything, but they want to go there to share their experience, exposure, and expertise, and guide. But when such people come, you are an old person, blah, blah, we end up missing value, and we take trash. So that's why civic education is very critical. What is it that you look for in a leader? Some people are chosen because they are good at making noise, they are good at running all over, and that he has a vibe, he has what? Now, look at leadership, because that will not add value. And that's where we really need to engage better. Like I was telling you, there are so many people in parliament who came on the basis of popularity. Some of them were your colleagues in the media. They were good in the media. They reached the house and they were not able to even say anything. You find someone who was a celebrity all of a sudden going numb. Some haven't even made their maiden speech, but they are in the field for re-election. Now those are challenges. Let's look for quality leaders, not popular leaders. Let's look for value proposition, not high-sounding, statements. You know, there are people who really make big statements and what, but when it comes to action, nothing. So let's look at people who can be transformational, who really are in leadership as a calling.
Honorable, that is your perception, that is your view, and that is what it should be.
It is an ideal
and that
view,
is what it should be.
And we should work towards it. We should never run away from it.
I have no doubt of what you're saying, but practically we seem to be dwindling away from that.
And the more we dwindle, the more problems we get into. So we need to reconsider.
And I'm happy
and
you're
there
here.
are good examples of people that really have been able to do good, and simple people. You know, if you look at what Muyingo was doing in his area, you know, he's very transformational. But you know, when people came again, they went for vibe, they went for the wind, and see what they ended up with.
I'm happy I'm hosting you today. I'm going to put this to you. You are in the CA.
I was in the CA.
And thereafter, the parliaments that followed, the quality of politicians, not to water down the politicians that we have today. You know, what is that that you people didn't do right, that we are at a place where we are today? That even then, just a village chairperson was the best of the community. If you would see the LCs by then, 2 decades back, or 1 decade and a half back, you went to a village, they would even nominate someone and they would say, please, I'm so busy or something. A village chairperson was worthy of that place. The honorables, I don't want to mention names of people because some of them are departed. Look at the people who are in the CA, the likes of Honorable Semaru, even years outside politics. He says to be a leader, you don't have to have an office.
No.
He's very determined. He pushes for what is right. what is it that you people didn't do for this nation so that we hold you accountable?
No, it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with the voters. The voters started looking at politics as a livelihood. You know, when you would get such talks like, to nono kalieko, nono kalieko, once it went to that level where they would pull out a very seasoned and good leader because they want another son of the soil to have an opportunity to eat. That's where we lost it. It ceased to be a competence-driven exercise. It's also stopped being an exposure element. Even education, that's why you see people even forging education in order to get there. There are many who are there who don't have the requisite education, but every day they mention they are scared in their spirits because they are surviving each day the way it passes. You know, that level of integrity, it disappeared in the window. So we need, that's why civic education, really my solution is civic education, and civic education. The next government, please give sufficient budget to Human Rights Commission. One of the biggest rights is the right to knowledge, right to useful information, right to exposure, right to good experience. So let's invest in that and let it not be an activity that is undertaken before elections. That is more of voter education, which the Electoral Commission can do. But civic education should begin right now after choosing the leaders. We need a round of civic education for people to reflect on how they chose the leaders and where the mistakes they were. They are able to identify them early, then get them in a mode of doing the right thing because you eat this small money. Like someone said, someone gives you 20,000 for a vote and you vote an MP who never comes back. But he paid you. He owes you nothing. You can't make him accountable because you got your share. But if you chose this MP on the basis of the value system, you can engage him and make him accountable on the basis of the value system. So civic education is something we really need to invest in, and it should be cross-cutting and it should be ongoing. It should be a journey. It shouldn't be a destination. It should be a process. It shouldn't be an event. Yeah.
Well, civic education, many analysts and observers, the local and international, all alluded to the fact that we need civic education in Uganda because most of the challenges that are facing our electoral process is the fact that there is lack of civic education. Look at the number of invalid votes in the presidential and parliamentary elections. They were even more than some of the candidates did score numbers of invalid votes. Some presidential candidates did not get the percentage that we had. Come to the choices that we make. Sometimes you have the best and we pick the worst. But just to remind you that there are just about two hours remaining to closure of voting. So wherever you are, please run to that polling station and choose a leader of your choice. 2 hours, almost 2 hours, because at 4, voting officially closes. What happens is the polling constable will stand behind the last person on that line. And believe you me, then you will not access the queue to cast your vote. So drop whatever you're doing, just 2 hours. We have jam in Kampala. Run and make sure that you will speak when you have the right to speak because you did participate. Being good analysts, being very knowledgeable, but you do not vote doesn't add up, you guys.
That's what makes you a legitimate stakeholder.
A legitimate stakeholder.
Yeah.
Well, Honorable, we have to get out of here. Let me just get your parting shot.
Yeah, thank you very much for this time. Like you've indicated, this is a very important exercise. This is the best that can happen to you. This is what is going to determine your welfare, your livelihood in the next 5 years. Don't let other people choose for you. for if you don't go to choose, other people choose for you. And once they've chosen for you, you don't have a right to complain. They have every right to complain, for they did make a choice. So don't be someone that depends on others. Use your own sense of judgment, use your own influence, use your experience, exposure, use your knowledge and information. Look at all the candidates, weigh them, and always go for the best, because the best is the one you need. The one you want may not be the best. So always go for the best, because only the best is good enough for you. So go out there and vote. Wakiso, where I come from, please go out and vote and get Wakiso back on its feet and up and running. Kampala, go out and vote. The NRM has not provided a mayor for a long time. This is an opportunity. Look out for a candidate of your choice and get Kampala to be a truly capital city and a good metropolitan comparable to the best in the world. And it can be done. All you need to do is to do it right, do it yourself, and cast your vote.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Mike Kennedy Sebalu, for your time. It's been a pleasure having you and, of course, giving an insight into this entire process. UBC TV, we are committed to giving you a 360 coverage of these elections across the country and, of course, the results. Have the best of your day for now. More programming coming on. More highlights will be coming on.
Let me just send greetings to the people of Nkokonjeru B who are at the polling center, the officials, the agents of various actors. I really want to, because I was impatient. I was telling them I have to go to UBC. And they said, when you go there, send us greetings. So I'm being a very accountable leader. Greetings to all of you, but more so greetings to the leaders of Kampala and Wakiso. Work together. We still work together. Let's keep peace. Let's be responsible. And let's do it right.
Well, thank you so, Honorable Sebalu. Let's keep peace. Go and cast your vote. Have the best of your day. Good afternoon.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the womb, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
NRM Liberation Day is celebrated every year on 26th January. It marks the historic day in 1986 when the National Resistance Movement NRA-NRM, led by Yoweri Museveni, seized power after a 5-year guerrilla war, overthrowing the previous government. The day is a significant milestone in Uganda's modern history, commemorating the country's journey towards stability and self-determination. On Monday, 26 January 2026, under the theme, Tribute to the Patriots Who Ushered in a Fundamental Change, the nationwide ceremonies and military parades reflecting the NRM's emphasis on unity and development will take place at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. Join us for the live broadcast as we shall relay the activities of the day on UBC TV.
I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Welcome home to entertainment. To Wi-Fi everywhere. To high-speed internet. To security. To first-class support. To convenience. Welcome home to MTN WakaNet, superior internet for every home. Visit www.mtn.co.ug/WakaNet. Welcome home. Together, we are unstoppable.